What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. We are discussing Surviving R. Kelly Part 3 that I watched on Netflix. This is a touchy subject. Be open to whatever part you're watching. This is Part 4, I think. Be open to what I'm saying because this is how we're going to have these conversations. The next generations of Lonnies, because I definitely ran across my share of R. Kellys. So I left off in the last video saying it's not that girls have daddy issues and that's why they seek out these older men. You do not find these young girls with sugar daddies because they want daddies. They are with these older men because these men provide stability. These men provide the lifestyle that they desire. And for some reason, they have not been able to acquire, I'm not going to say bars, they have not been able to acquire that lifestyle independently, so now they have figured I can attach myself to an older established man and reap the benefits of that. These are not daddy issues. These are financial disparity issues, and if women were able, these are abandonment, single parent issues. I gotta figure out how to raise these freaking kids, or I'm growing up in a household where we don't got no money, so now as a child, I gotta use what I got to get what I want. This ain't got nothing to do with daddy issues, and I need you to be my daddy. So let's get rid of that, because that's not what this is. But calling it daddy issues is excusing younger women chasing after these older men, and it's excusing these older men chasing after these younger girls. Let's stop making excuses and let's look at the solutions, which is equal pay for an equal day's work, irregardless of race or gender. Which is stop irresponsibly having babies out here with any Tom, Dick, and Harry, myself included. I am not judging. I'm calling a thing so we can fix this thing. Let's stop having these random babies that we can't afford, and now we got to do what we got to do in order to survive. And then we put our kids out here to go do what they got to do to survive. Y'all know that Reba McEntire song, Fancy? She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Mom didn't mean to turn her out, but mom had to turn her out in order for her to survive. Yeah, this is happening in all races, in all places. And now I'm going to get into my R. Kelly story. I didn't grow up, but I did a stint. I always say that the different phases in my life were stints. I did a stint in the crack house. I was 14 years old. My aunt had kicked me out. My dad was off doing whatever the hell my dad was doing, and I ended up at my mammy's house. When I was living at my mom's house, they would do drugs in the back room, and in the front room is where all the drug dealers posted up. All these drug dealers was over 18, in their early 20s. And like I said in a previous video, I've been stacked like the way that I'm stacked since I was 14 years old. Next part. And by telling these stories, I am no way saying that these young girls are responsible for their behavior, but I understand how someone can believe that they are. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. I am discussing Surviving R. Kelly on Netflix that I watched the other day, Part 3, and yeah. I just ask that you allow the space to have the conversation. I ask that you allow me to stumble over my words and misspeak and maybe say some inflammatory things, because in saying those things, I'm offering the platform for us to start doing the work to be okay and to heal our community. So anyway, I would go and I would flirt with the different guys, the different drug dealers, not because they were attractive, not because I had daddy issues. I was raised by my father for the most part. I did a stint with him. Well, my stints didn't start till after him, but I did a stint with my dad. So it was none of those things. The reason why I was flirting with them is because these niggas had money. These niggas would sit up and chill and kiki, and that lifestyle just looked fun to me. They sitting up there smoking their blunts and, passing the 40 around, and they would let me come and I'd be in the circle and we was ciphering. It was a dope ass experience in my 14-year-old brain. And I would flirt with different ones, and I respect the ones, Carlos, that was his name. I would flirt with him, and I remember Carlos would be like, child, you're a child. And I encountered this later with this other guy. He was an Omega. I respect that much more because I used to flirt with that man, and he would be like, call me when you're 18. Now 18 is barely legal, and I did call that nigga when I turned 18, but what I'm saying is he refused to mess with me until I was over the legal consent age in the state that we live in. because most people only respect the legal consent age, not because they're like, I ain't gonna mess with her, she's a child. No, I ain't gonna mess with her because I'm not gonna go to jail. Oh, jail bait looking ass. Let's keep that G. Because if I was built like this at 14, what's the difference? I'm gonna look the same when I'm 18. So the only difference is my legality. But they still looking. Let's be honest. So anyway, I would flirt with these different dope dealers in the front room, and one finally took me up on my offer. I didn't want the little boys at school. They had nothing to offer me. See, they all had penises, but only the ones had money. Only the ones had a lifestyle that was enticing to me. See, men will do what's necessary to get the girls. A man will only rise as far as he needs to get what he wants. That's why that homeless guy got a girlfriend, because that's as high as he had to rise to get what he wanted. So anyway, I'm bouncing from guy to guy. I'm flirting, and I finally find one to take me up on the offer. I mean, I'm slanging this, I'm trying. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple of minutes, I am talking the Surviving R. Kelly Part 3. From my perspective, I'm definitely going to say some inflammatory things that are going to make you upset. But after you get upset and after you surpass your judgment, know that I'm having this conversation because we need to bring to light these mentalities and these things so that we can save our next generation from being the next R. Kelly and Aaliyah, the next Lonnie and Fruity Mac. Yes, y'all, his name was Fruity Mac, and he drove a purple car. Hey, boo, hey. Like, real talk. Anyway, I didn't have no standards. Money was my standard.
Fuck a nigga. Money make me come.
I've been on that. Right or wrong, that's what it is, and that's why we're in the space that we're in. R. Kelly was able to entice the people that he was able to entice because, word on the curb, it was male and females. He was able to entice them because he was able to wave in their face something that they wanted. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So one day, Fruity's like, okay, it's gonna go down. And me just saying Fruity, it's just like, damn. So anyway, I leave my house in the middle of the night and I go around the corner because Fruity already said, if your mama knew what was happening, we gonna have a problem. So meet me around the corner. I sneak out to go meet Fruity, and we immediately go to the liquor store. Now y'all stop me if my loss of my virginity story sounds familiar, because I'm sure it does. So we go to the liquor store, and by this time I'm already drinking, at 14. So this ain't nothing. He buys, the little situation of gin or vodka, some white liquor, I don't know. We go back to his house. We drink the alcohol because he's gonna get me nice and drunk. But I don't see it as him getting me drunk. I think he's cool. He's buying me alcohol in my 14-year-old brain. And in my 14-year-old brain, I think I want this. I am seeking so much more than the sex, but I don't know that. I'm using the sex to try to get what I'm seeking. So for y'all to sit out here and say these young girls want this, they don't. They are seeking something else, but the only way they know how to get it is through the use of their body. Y'all can't be so fucking daft that y'all think, oh, she wants me. Nah, she wants what you represent. Whatever is behind your dick, she's willing to sit on that to get to this. I think the mood of this video is okay for me to say bars. So anyway, we're at his house, and I remember it was a twin bed, and he had sheets, but he didn't have a blanket on the bed, and he had this radio.